Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Mm-hmm.
Hey
Namaskaram. Namaskaram to everyone, wherever you are. Well, the music sounds of Isha. The Native Americans who are referred to as Indians, and of course Indians from India. It's a nice, a good meld of these two cultures in the form of music, wonderful. Here we are at Bear Lake, Utah, a little over 6:30. Sun is yet to come up, no sign of him. Temperatures are somewhere around 6 to 7 degrees centigrade. Fires all around me. But as you know, the virus is still picking up momentum in many parts of the world, including United States and India and a few other countries. Still in India, deaths are over 1,000 per day. United States, around 900 per day. Well, though in India the fatality rate is low, as economy opens up, different social activity opens up, we're seeing surges happening. In United States, people are predicting an autumn surge, largely I think economic activity here is reasonably on, at least on the roads, on the highways. All the trucks are plying, maybe at least 60% of the usual traffic. And unfortunately, the President of United States and the First Lady also have fallen victims to this. Hope they recover soon. Well, many ministers, many people in the administration, including our Vice President of India, also COVID infected. I hope Sri Venkaiah Naidu recovers quickly. Considering age, they must take care. I'm sure doctors will do the best, but this is of great concern that people who are well protected, if it's happening to them, the regular population which needs to go out and do things on the street, the challenges of it. And some of the statistics or some of the studies show that 70% of the people who get infected don't spread the virus to even one more person. But the 10% who are considered as super spreaders, in case they are very happy they're in some way super, this 10% is giving to at least 90% of the infections are because of them. That means each one of them is giving to a minimum of 9 to 10 people. But 70% is a responsible population. Once they test positive, they're not giving it to anybody else. That's fantastic news. We just have to make the 70% into 100%. That is the real solution actually for virus problem and various other problems that we have. So, people who are calculating post-pandemic, what do I do? Please don't jump into that too quickly. Nobody told you it is like some kind of a thing on a particular date, we can say virus over and we're going to do something new. No, it will not happen that way. I hope, I know like the important thing is that we must come up with a treatment protocol. Like we have managed various other killers like tuberculosis, malaria, dengue, we have a effective treatment protocol. Because of that, we think we are free from it, but it's all over the place anyway, but we are managing without being worried about those things because we have a treatment protocol. The same needs to happen with this, that we must have an effective treatment protocol. I'm sure a lot of work is being done in that direction, and that could be one of the reasons for the number of recoveries. But at the same time, there is still no consensus on this is the way to treat this. That needs to happen. Today happens to be the World Animal Day. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the World Animal Day. 4th of October is the World Animal Day. I'm sorry, a little bit of this fire smoke in my eyes, the wind is changing direction. It's okay, it's all right. Just to give you, if you already do not know, 200 million animals killed for food daily on land, and 3 billion, including aquatic life, every day killed for human consumption. 200 million land animals and 3 billion aquatic creatures being killed for human consumption of 7.6 billion people. This amounts to 72 billion land animals and 1.2 trillion aquatic animals for food every year. In the last 50 years, sorry. In the last 50 years, the meat consumption in the world has gone up 6-fold. One reason for this is the weakening of the soil and vegetable matter not having substantial strength in it, substantial nourishment in it. This is one reason why meat consumption have gone up, and another reason is meat industry is aggressively pushing their products, and another reason is, unfortunately, whatever is done in the West, particularly in America, everybody thinks that is the right thing to do. Now, every doctor in the world is telling you that red meat could be the cause of various ailments, whether it is cardiac problems, whether it is cancer or various other issues, or because of consumption of red meat, it has to be brought down. But in India, many doctors are saying you must eat meat, otherwise there's not enough nourishment. They're not very wrong, because unfortunately they're not very wrong, because it is said that in the last 25 years, the vegetables that you buy in the market in India, their nourishment value has come down by 40%. This is the first generation where we have a clear picture of the value of nature and the grave situation we are facing. Maybe we are the last generation who can do something significant about it right now. I hope that significant action happens. I have been meeting important people in America who have the necessary technologies and also access to fund so that significant things can be done in tropical lands, because fixing the tropical lands is the quickest way to turn the climate change effects, reverse the climate change effects upon the planet. Just the Kaveri Calling project, by all estimates, shows that If we plant this 242 crore or 2.42 billion trees in the Kaveri basin of 83,000 square kilometers, it would sequester anywhere between 9 to 12 trillion liters of water, and 8 to 12% of the carbon sequestering that we as a nation, India has promised the world in Paris Accord, whatever we have promised, 8 to 12% of that could be fulfilled just by this one project. You know why? I'm I'm pushing it like I'm possessed with Kaveri. Yes, I am. If you are not, you will be sorry, and your children, the next generation of people, will look back at us with resentment, not with pride, not with respect, not with regard, but with resentment. Well, out of the 51 million square kilometers of land used for agriculture, 40 million 40 million square kilometers, that is 77% of the agricultural land, is used to raise meat-giving animals and their food. Yes, 77% of the agricultural land is used to raise cattle and their feed. If only, if we reduce this 200 animals killed for food daily to 100 million, that is, if you reduce your meat diet by 50%, I'm not even asking you to give it up. If you reduce it by 50%, 20 million square kilometers of land would be available to do tree-based agriculture. One important thing that every one of you must strive to do right now is, at least 30% of your diet should come from trees. Please, everybody, commit yourself to this, because this is the saving grace for future. That 30% of our diet is coming from trees, not from monoculture of 3-month, 4-month crop patterns. Average decline in the animal population, that is the vertebrates on the planet, from 1970 to 2016 is 70%. 70% of the vertebrate population is gone in a matter of less than 50 years. Well, the animals or the animal world is hiring professionals to curse humanity, to use swear words at humanity. It seems it happened. 5 African grey parrots in Lincolnshire Wildlife Park in UK had to be separated after they kept encouraging each other to swear at visitors with the choicest of words. So when they were kept together, each one of them knew few words, but they learned from each other, and every time they use filthy swear word, people laugh. Looking at this, they started using the swear words and they all started laughing by themselves. And among the 5 of them, they picked up substantial vocabulary. Everybody was happy because it's just reflecting the society in which we are living. That we swear at everything that sustains us, we damage everything that sustains us, we damage everything that's a part of our life. And now, in the weekend, children were to come and visit the park, so they had to separate the parrots and put it away from display because the words that they were teaching are… would be an unfortunate lesson for the children. So I think maybe the animal world hired these 5 parrots to tell us who we are. This time we get the point. being here, exploring spiritual America, going through various Native American reservations and meeting people and feeling out sites and spaces where things have happened in the past, wonderful things and painful things, glorious things and shameful things, all happen. One thing that stands out about the Native American culture is their love for land. It is even inappropriate to say love for land because it is not that they love the land, they are the land. Even you and me are land, but most people don't get it till you bury them, that we are land. We are just an outcrop of land which can prance around a little bit, but still land. This is a piece of land. So this is a culture which lived consciously that they are land. They lived as land and always willing to be one with land. Well, that kind of sensitivity needs to come back. If Native American mysticism and spiritual process doesn't come back in its full flow, form, as many people may not be able to relate to it, but this dimension of their spirituality is very relevant for today and tomorrow, for this generation and the next, that people live understanding, knowing, being conscious that we are just land. Only if land is good, we are good. Only if the soil is good, we are good. When we say mysticism, mysticism is not some philosophy or a belief system or an ideology. Mysticism is an outcome or a consequence of the natural longing within a human being to know, experience and explore dimensions which are beyond limits for us right now. What are our limits? Our limits are our senses, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can smell and taste and touch. These are our limits. The boundaries of your experience, the boundaries of your knowing are just your sense organs. So the longing to know beyond this is a natural, intrinsic dimension within human intelligence. Human intelligence, if it is not contained by dogma, if it is not crippled by belief systems, if it is not stymied by absolutism, this is it, that is it, God said this, God said that. If you don't cripple your intelligence, it is natural for human intelligence to long to know something more than what it knows right now. The consequence of this longing is mysticism. So, I'm saying this because I'm getting a lot of questions, people asking, Sadhguru, how do you find Native American mysticism different from the Indian mysticism? Well, culturally we may be different, but when it comes to mysticism, there is no such thing as Indian mysticism African mysticism, American mysticism, there is no such thing, because mysticism is just exploration of the reality of existence, which is right now beyond physicality, because of which your senses are not able to perceive. Physical nature itself is a vast process. Modern science has made significant strides in exploring physical spaces. But though it is exciting and intriguing, they also know this is quite a hopeless effort, because now we are talking about millions and trillions of light years. When are we going to explore the whole cosmos? So the physical space, as exciting as it may be, is, in terms of exploration, it is a endless exploration. It may keep generations and generations of people busy, or traveling or hurtling through empty space, we may get bored and we may give up that exploration after some time. Because from one star to another star, from one galaxy to another galaxy, your interest and your excitement may not stay, and it will not stay. So mysticism is not looking at exploring physical spaces, it is about exploring dimensions beyond the physical nature. That means fundamentally, using some method, doesn't matter what, some method to transcend the limitations of sense perception, so that we can touch and experience dimensions beyond the physical. The mystics of this world, right from ancient times, have been of various kinds. One will not resemble the other because everybody does it in their own way. Everybody finds a little passage of their own. But there is a whole science, the yogic sciences are about this, that you can work systematically to transcend. It need not necessarily be a chance happening. So Native American mysticism is of a certain sort. We will bring many aspects of their pursuits and their experiences. But one thing we need to understand, being today almost everybody having been to school, they naturally have misunderstood memory as intelligence, because whoever could remember every word in the textbook looked smart in a classroom. Well, we must understand this is not accumulative knowledge. Cumulative knowledge is not going to help. Knowing and knowledge are two different things. Knowing is like daylight, just beginning to happen here, sunrise it's just there. Knowledge is a cumulative or an accumulated dimension that you have to carry. It is a sack on your head and it's heavy. So, it is important to understand mysticism is not a philosophy, not an ideology, not a belief system, not of this land or that land. It is an intrinsic longing in human intelligence, because human intelligence has reached a certain level of evolution. You cannot keep it satisfied with what you already know. You cannot keep it satisfied with absolutism of religion or textbook level of science. So, we will take you through this to whatever extent we've not been able to process many things because we are riding from place to place and not been able to deliver the goods to you in terms of the exciting things that we see and experience. Uh, we'll do this as we go by. Be with me, ride with me. Uh, there are questions, please.
The first question is from Mr. Shankar from
Little louder,
Tirupati.
please. Please read it.
The first question is from Mr. Shankar from Tirupati. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. My wife is a wonderful woman, but she has such a sharp tongue.
Oh, I'm glad. Okay, there is a but. Please tell me about the but.
But she has such a sharp tongue.
Ooh.
Sometimes I am afraid even to go home. Why are some women made like this? They are wonderful on one level, but quite terrifying on another level. Please throw some light.
Light is coming up. Well, because generally I'm saying, because some women will argue about this, generally women have less muscular strength than a man. When situations go a little out of control, man wants to use his hands because that's all he's got. So a woman, right from her young age, she sharpens her tongue because she knows her muscles are not as big and strong as a man's muscles, so her tongue is maybe way sharper than yours. You can't wag it like her. Generally, this could be true for most people. So, it's not just a sharp tongue. You know, in India, you're from Tiruchirappalli, I think Navaratri is close by. It's all about the Devis or the goddesses in India. Except a few who are very civilized, kind, rest of them, you heard of them? Rakini, Dakini, Lankini, Chinnamasta, Chandi, Kali, Bhairavi, you heard of all of them. Whoa, these are terrifying women, usually tongue hanging out, you've seen blood dripping sometimes from their mouths because they'll bite off your head. But we made such women worship-worthy in our country because of some other quality that they have, like your wife. She's a wonderful woman, wonderful on one level, but quite terrifying on another level. So is Bhairavi, so is Chandi, so is Chamundi, so is Kali, so is Chinnamasta, many of them. They are wonderful on one level, quite terrifying on another level. So it is your skill to get the wonderfulness of their quality towards you, and their terrifying quality goes towards somebody else. The wonderfulness should come for you. That is a skill you have to learn. But the whole idea of why the goddesses are like this is for you to understand, if there is a wonderful quality, either in terms of talent or intelligence or brilliance or some genius, within a person, or right now we're talking about women. If there are such qualities in a woman that she has certain streak of genius, or she has extraordinary talents, or she is super wonderful in something, we don't want to surrender her intelligence, her brilliance, her genius, her talent, her skills at the altar of good behavior. Because you can train your puppy dog to behave well. If you want good behavior, that's why everybody these days, instead of getting married, they're getting a dog, because you can train your puppy for good behavior. So if good behavior is all you're looking for, then that's what you should settle for. But if you're looking for other possibilities, not necessarily always, but sometimes it comes with not so good behavior. Maybe sometimes with certain amount of nastiness. It depends what values you're looking for in your life. But I know you are saying, Mr. Shankar, hey, what's your second name? Pillai? Now I'm getting ideas. Well, if you're that one, I'm sure you're skillful enough to handle this terrifying situations. Well, but never surrender. Human intelligence, genius, brilliance, talent, competence at the altar of good behavior. Good behavior can be learnt. Intelligence cannot be learnt. Genius cannot be learnt. You have to unleash it, you cannot learn it. In the process of unleashing a significant possibility, in case, not necessarily, don't take this as an endorsement of your bad behavior. I'm not saying that. If you want to have some bad behavior, you should show some extraordinary talent or brilliance or intelligence. Otherwise, you have no right to throw yourself around. Even then, you have no right. But never surrender significant aspects of human life in the form of intelligence, competence, brilliance, genius at the altar of good behavior, because good behavior can be learnt and it's only socially significant, it has no life significance as such. So, the wonderful wife that you have, if she is like a rose plant, she has 2 roses or 1 rose and 100 thorns. You just have to nourish her so that there are also 100 roses for the 100 thorns. Well, the number of thorns for the size of the plant it stays constant. But the number of flowers can be enhanced. I think that's what you should do with this wonderful wife of yours. I'm sure she's a wonderful woman, but little tongue-lashing department is strong. You must find some other victim for her, and you must get the wonderful part of her. Please.
The second question is from Priyanka Joshi. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I wish to thank you for your contribution towards making our life happy. It is great to listen to your videos. Kindly enlighten me how to teach the kids the most important aspects of life satisfaction. so that the new generation will try to achieve internal happiness and not to run towards an oasis.
You think there is an oasis somewhere? Oh, I think now the camera should be taking in the Bear Lake much better, enough light, huh? So, a fantastic lake out here. Beautiful, large, I really don't know how large it is. It looks like somebody who comes from West Asia said it looks like Mediterranean Sea. Yes, it does, it's quite large. Well, there is no oasis outside. Even if there's an ocean, people can still drown in it. There is no such thing as internal happiness. Happiness has always been internal. Not only happiness, even misery has been only internal. Joy has only been internal. Suffering has been only internal. Though, you know, poets and others went about saying, it's okay, it's getting warm. Love is in the air. No, that is also always internal. Everything that you experience is internal. If you ever thought or deceived yourself to think that there is an oasis of happiness or love or joy somewhere, well, you will be deeply disappointed after some time, because many times it looks like that. Many times it looks like that there is an oasis or an ocean of joy somewhere else. No. All human experience is generated from within you. It's up to you what kind of experience you generate. Well, everybody wants to guide the youth or the children because you think children are the problem. No, they are just a miniature version of you. And if they are looking like such a serious problem, I think you need to have a close look at yourself. Because they're just a small, small prototype of you. So if they are looking terrible, you need a close look at yourself. Children are not the problem. If the adults transform themselves, you don't have to worry about the children. No, Sadhguru, my children… Oh, if your children are a problem, as I just told you, that is a miniature problem. The larger problem is sitting here. So, and you said you're listening to my videos also. You must listen some more because I've said a lot about this aspect. If you are really interested in making your children wonderful, if you're genuinely interested, because I'm using this word genuinely not to insult you, but to stress on this, because most parents are only interested in their children being little better than the neighbor's children. How much marks did you get? How much money did you earn? What is your social status? This seems to be the concern of most parents. When it is so, naturally your children are looking for a stupid oasis which doesn't exist somewhere. Because it is you who has given them this idea that everything of value for a human being is somewhere outside in the society. Either in the money that you gather or wealth that you gather or status or symbols that you gather, feathers in your beak. So, you change that. First, you transform yourself, then you will see there is very little work to be done with your children, very little, believe me. So without transforming yourself, you want them transformed. What is your idea of transformation? They must listen to you. There is scientific evidence to show if you are over 35 years of age, your children, whatever age they are, anywhere over 12 years of age, they are much more intelligent than you. There is scientific evidence to show this. So, why should they listen to you, I'm asking? Or if you go with your own thing, you're talking about satisfaction, let me upgrade that thing. Between you and your child, who is more joyful in a given day? If the answer is your child, then you tell me who should be a consultant for life? Definitely not you, it's the child. So, this attitude that children are born wrong and you're going to fix them, Creator has made a mistake. No, it's your mistake, you should know that. And you're going to fix the mistake. No, nothing like that. Life has come well. It is just your messing which is the problem. So whatever mess up you've done with yourself, if you fix that, there will be very little to fix with your child. Maybe you have to just teach them a few survival skills to survive in this world. And rest of it, that life will figure out in its own way. Or you said, throw some light, is it? No. That happiness is within. I want you to look at something very fundamental. Did you find a job or start a business or decide to go after something in search of happiness, thinking that it will get you happiness, or you found happiness within you and as an expression of joy you went out and did this? Now you have a child means you're married, I believe. So did you get married in pursuit of happiness or in expression of your joy? Did you have children in pursuit of happiness or in an expression of your joy? You must look at these things. Don't make your children listen to this video. You should listen to it and get it, because this is very important that you understand. You yourself have been looking for that oasis all your life, and now you want your child to find inner satisfaction or inner fulfillment or joy. How will this happen? You're definitely not qualified to do that. So, qualification is not in some learning, qualification is in just this simple realization: Human experience can only happen from within, that's all. Whatever it is, joy or misery, can only happen from within. Fulfillment or disgruntlement, both can only happen from within. If you know this one thing absolutely, do whatever you want. What's my problem? You like frustration, enjoy it. You like to be disgruntled, enjoy it. What's my problem? But you must know, it is caused by you, nobody else but you, that's all. As long as you know this, then what you want to cause to yourself is up to you. So the same thing the child should know, whether it's joy or misery, fulfillment or frustration, both are caused from within. He should know it's his responsibility to cause what he wants to himself. Well, this is an insurance for the rest of the world also. One who is in some sense fulfilled within himself or herself, or one who is joyful by their own nature, have no issues with the world around. Because when your well-being does not depend on anything around you, then you will do what is needed. Sometimes what you needed may need gentle handling, sometimes it may need forceful handling, sometimes it may need loving handling, sometimes it may need tough handling. You will do what's needed. Only when you're able to do just what is needed will your… what is called as human intelligence, which is a phenomenal process, is not just intellect of thoughts, human intelligence will find expression. But if you are tied up in knots, this will bring happiness to me, this will bring unhappiness to me, this I enjoy, this I suffer. Once you're tied up in these boundaries and knots, your intelligence is frozen. It will never melt it will never flow like water, it is frozen. Well, frozen ice has its purposes. Frozen ice is good for future. I mean to say, when you go to heaven, maybe your intelligence will unfold. But there they say everything is fantastic, you don't need to be intelligent, God manages everything for you. So you won't need it there also. And carrying a block of ice and carrying a block of anything as a head is a wasted life. So the moment you identify what makes me happy, what makes me unhappy, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, the moment you identify this, you must understand your intelligence is frozen within the boundaries of that. So if you want your child to be released from that, you must set an example, not give lectures on how to find inner satisfaction. Suppose your child stands up and asks, if you were so fulfilled, why did you get married, why did you bear children, what will you do? I hope you don't have to face such ugliness in your life. So please, transform yourself, don't try to transform your children. If you transform yourself, you will see child will be the first one to react in response to it, respond to it. Of course, they'll be very sarcastic in the beginning because, you have past karma, they have seen you. But in terms of responding to any transformation, you will see a child or even a youth will be the first one to do that because it is the nature of life. A fresh life always has more response capabilities than a conceited life which has formed ideas and opinions about everything. So age is just this. What is being young and what is being old, if you ask me? It is all a question about how many conclusions have you made about life. If you have a lot of conclusions, you will become ancient right now. If you have no conclusions about anything, you're willing to look at everything fresh, then you will see, you will be bubbly and very childlike. So it's up to you that you want to be an adult boss who molds this born into enslavement life. I'm talking about your child. Children are born as slaves, unfortunately, in this world still. I wouldn't say that for every parent, but largely. Because he is supposed to sit when you say… because you yourself do not know yet. Most of the people still do not know what to eat, what not to eat. But they know what the child should eat. How many wrong things have been fed to them, both in terms of food, ideas, belief systems. How much mess up has been done from generation to generation because you're trying to teach something that you yourself do not know. Don't do that. The best and the most wonderful thing that you can do with your child is admit to them that even you do not know, you just made a mistake of coming a few years early, that's it. Otherwise, what the hell do you have that the child doesn't have? At least he has fresh brains, you have frozen ones. There are lots of fishermen out here, fresh fish and frozen fish, just like that. So, live brains and dead brains. Brains are dead because more and more conclusions you make, the more and more you cripple yourself. The reason why every human being is not naturally a mystic is simply because they have belief systems, they have ideologies, they have philosophies, they have moral codes, they have ethical codes, and they are also well-behaved. So they've done all the wrong things with life. So, exploration has stopped. When exploration stops, life will not happen as an explosion. It happens like a trickle, like survival, existence, but no exuberance of life. So your child has some exuberance, don't kill it with your silly ideas and philosophies. Please see if you can infuse that exuberance into yourself. And if you are an exuberant life, you don't have to do much with the child. They will grow up well. And if you don't stop running after some mirage of an oasis, it's just a mirage, there is no oasis, that it looks like it's going to satisfy everything. But when you get there, it doesn't work. You must see the advertisements. If you look at the commercials on the planet, you will understand what I'm saying. There was because you're using the word satisfaction, there used to be one ad in India when we were growing up, action for satisfaction, scissors, smoke the cigarette and you will be satisfied. Well, fortunately that brand is gone out, I think. Scissors, it'll cut your lungs from inside, that's what they were saying. You didn't get it. Generations of people smoked it. Here, somebody's advertising, you buy this car, that's it, your life is fulfilled, you will be joyful for the rest of your life. Well, you can… I'm not encouraging you to smoke, but you can smoke a cigarette, you can buy a car, but smokers don't look joyful, nor drivers look joyful. Just watch on the street, all those people who are driving their dream cars, are they bursting with joy? They're not. So, the oasis only is a mirage. If you don't see that, don't expect your child to see that. You have to show it to him by example, not by your teaching. Namaskaram, this week, because both in United States and in India, they're expecting a surge of the virus. Ensure that you don't catch it. Ensure that you are not one of those superheroes who are super spreaders. Please be a responsible, sensible human being. Stay alive, that's the biggest responsibility right now. You and me should stay alive and ensure everybody around us stay alive. Just make that happen for yourself, because we're in such times that this will be the best thing you did, that you stayed alive and you made sure everybody around you is alive. That's the best thing you can do right now. Ah, fantastic view of the Bear Lake for you. So today, we are moving to… today or tomorrow probably, we are moving to Salt Lake City for certain important conversations. See you next week. Namaskaram. One thing that we can know from birds, if we listen to them carefully, we would know the meteorological conditions by raising your Uddhana Prana. Your ability to utter sounds, in a way it is most impactful. There is a long tradition of initiating people with the sound. That sound gets imprinted in you and you hear the Guru's voice continuously.